Alrighty, so here's the tutorial for Etude number 2, which is fairly number 1. This really long Etude. Make sure that you're counting this Etude in eighth notes. So the real time signature right here that we're dealing with is 8/8, 8 eighth notes in the measure. So the first note, the E, is going to get 4 counts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1. Okay? And that's going to continue throughout the Etude here. You get some of my notes that I'm just gonna read off of here and make sure I go over. All right. Make sure you don't go too slow on this. You don't want to turn this into a death march or anything like that. So if you go too slow, you're going to get tired and it's not going to sound good. You kind of want to keep it, I would say keep it, right at that where it's labeled 92. I would say keep it around there. Not too, if you want to go a little slower, that's fine, but make sure you don't go too slow on this. The counting, like I said, we're in 8/8, so 8 eighth notes of measure. Measure 2, you got that double dotted quarter note there, and just so there's no question about it, you got the quarter note, which is 2 counts. The first dot is half of those 2 counts, which is 1, and then that second dot is half of the dot, which is a half. So that note right there is going to be 3.5 beats long in the way that we're counting. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. All right. So make sure you don't start too softly here. Piano is, I think of piano as not being too soft. So nice and full sound, but just don't go overboard. Then nice good crescendo here. Okay. And then right here we have this the 16th with the 6 30-second notes following after it. And this pattern happens 3 times in the next 4 measures. And then 3 measures after that. And then the measure, this is measure 5, we have right here. Okay? Now right there, people have, some of my students have had trouble with those grace notes. Just make sure that you're counting your eighth notes, bum, 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 and make sure that the E, you're starting on the E, and the next beat is going to fall on the F sharp. Bum, 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 bum. So in slow motion, it's da, da, da. That all is going to take place in one beat. Da, 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 da. Going up to the high C there in measure 6, you can probably use your side C there to get rid of any blips you might have coming down to the B after it. Okay, measure 7. Like I said, we have that same pattern there with the 30-second notes. Okay, following this breath mark here, we have this thing, it's an eighth note with the trill, followed by 2 grace notes. This only happens about 1,000 times in this book, so we might as well figure out how we're going to do it, because it happens 4 times in this Etude by itself. What I do is I will trill it twice, and then play the grace notes. That's 7 notes. With the trill and then the grace notes. Okay? Now, that sounds really stupid the way I played it, but what we're going to do is we're going to meld all those notes together to make one 7-note figure. Dubba 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 da dum. So it's going to be, if we were to write it out, it would be 7, I believe it'd be 64th notes in that one note. Okay? Now you can play with it to kind of like start that off a little bit slow and then speed it up into the next beat, which is a lot to do in one beat. But I think it'll sound nice and kind of professional that way. And like I said, that happens 4 times in this etude. Once in measure 7, the next time measure 15, measure 20, and measure 21. And they're all like that. Every single one of them. 2 trills plus the graces for a 7-note figure that takes the place of that 1/8 note. So here it is in measure 7, measure 15, measure 20, and measure 21. Okay, so replace that the 8th note with those 7 notes. I know it sounds easy, but with a little bit of practice, you can make that sound nice, and it just flows really nicely like that. Okay? Measure 8, you have the grace note into the suspension up there on the A. Anytime that you're decrescendoing into a rest or into a breath in this etude that's kind of like has a lot of sauce into it, when you decrescendo, I would cut my vibrato off. So do a nice straight tone there. So maybe vibrato on the A, none on the G. Okay? Okay, moving on. Measure 9. We have the first of these 2 turns, which looks like a little, almost like an infinity sign there. The way I play these turns is I will make the like in measure 9, the F, I'll make it into a 16th note. And the other 16th note that would make up that 8th note that the F is, I would do the turn, which is a 4-note turn. So it's going to sound like that. Da, 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 digga, digga, da. Okay, so those 4 notes are going to be like 32nd notes, or sorry, 64th. And then those grace notes that come on the downbeat or that start measure 10, excuse me, are actually going to be part of the previous measure, so the G is going to fall on the beat. Okay. Then measure 11, you can same rhythm, exactly the same. Okay. Da, digga, digga, da, and you can finger that however you want. You can do side B flat, this B flat, doesn't matter to me. Just make sure it's nice and even and you don't have any blips. For the grace notes that come at the beginning of measure 12, the B, C, I'm sorry, yeah, that's right, B, C, D, C, you can finger that, true to the saxophone. I'm sorry. You can also do for the D, you could just add your high E flat key to the C. It might be a little sharp. It is on my horn, it's quite a bit sharp, but it's going by so quickly, I don't think anybody's going to really notice. It's up to you. Alright. After this F, so right here, take a big breath because this is actually quite a long ways until you can breathe again. And then keep going throughout there. I'm not going to play all that for you because that's fine. You should be able to do that. Make sure in measure 14 that you kind of make these accents happen. So I'll start here in measure 13. And then don't decrescendo too quickly off the high B. Leave it for right here. And then right here, I would highly suggest using a side D right here, going into that D before the breath mark. On my horn, the way to do it is simply play it with the high E flat key, so the second palm key. That's it. And then, starting on the trill, you can do this trill with side keys too. If you have a saxophone with a highest sharp key, you can just add the highest sharp key to that D fingering, and that's actually an E. You can actually do that. Make sure you get a full value note on the downbeat of measure 16. So 2 counts, hold it all the way to 3. 1, 2, off. The rest right here are going to sound like an eternity, but it's right. Coming on the upbeat of count number 7. I'll just play it for you. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Big crescendo in the high B flat. And then right here we have this really weird articulation. We have the slur, but we also have these staccatos on the F and the A right there. I don't know what they were thinking. The way I would probably play is I would play these the length of a dotted eighth note. So 3/16 notes. So D, off, A, off. So 1, 2, 3, off, boom, 2, 3, off, boom. Okay, and then a really, really nice subito piano there. Should be subdividing throughout here. Okay, 1, 2, 3, or however you count it. If you do 1 2 theta or 1 E and 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and 5 E and 6 E and 7 8 and 1. Okay. Then we have another one of those turn or trill grace thingies here in measure 20. Make sure in measure 21, right where I just stopped, the 32nd notes come on count 3. I've had students want to start that on the end of 2. I don't know why. It drives me nuts. But make sure that those 32nd notes start on count 3. 1, 2, 3, E and 4, E and 5. Then we have another trill turn thing, trill grace. We have this, the G, C here in measure 22. Make sure you're subdividing again here the triplets, so the 16th note triplets, so that you can play these triplets coming that come on counts 5, 6, 7, and 8 in time. So in my head I'm thinking. Okay. Make sure your articulation is correct there. Bounce, bounce. Just really nice bouncy 16th notes, 16th triplets there. Okay. And then again, no vibrato here, going into the B when you're decrescendo with there. Okay. Then we start right here on count 8, going into the next bar. So and make sure it's a good dotted rhythm here. You don't want boom, 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 which is a triplet, which is wrong. It's not what's here. bum, bum, bum. That's what I would think in my mind. No, which is wrong, which is right. Okay? Then here, in measure, what is it, 24, you got the 2 trills. I would probably suggest starting each of these trills just a little bit slow for some dramatic effect, each one of them. And then measure 25, I wouldn't start this one slow. I would just keep on going with it because we've already built that tension. And then right here on the high F, make sure you're subdividing those 30-second notes that you're going to play after it. That's what's going in my head. Keep that all nice and forte. And then right here you have this little, to me it's like a little mini cadenza. You and it says ad lib right here, down there at the bottom, which to me, that kind of translates to me as kind of almost a piacere, which means at your leisure. So I would probably start just a little bit slow, make it a little interesting, speed it up a little, then come back and slow it down a little bit going into the second to last measure. Right there. Then you have a molto ritardando going into the last, in the last 2 bars. I would suggest putting my low C key down, probably throughout this whole measure, in the second to last measure, so that when you have that slur from the G to the B, I think that will solidify that slur going down there, and I think you'll have a better shot of not cracking that low B. Okay, and really tight corners there at the end. That's a really hard thing to do, is play that note very soft, and it's a fermata. It's a whole note, 8 counts with a fermata on it. So I think it's 8 counts minimum of what you should play there. If you could do 9, 10, I would probably do that a little bit, and all the while getting softer. And that's very difficult. I'm not gonna just sit and say, oh, it's really, no, it's hard. And if you play tenor saxophone, that's the hardest. So, again, if you have any questions on this, feel free to comment or send me a message or whatever, and I'll do my best to answer all those questions. This is the etude that will probably make or break most people. I mean, I think a lot of the times students will practice the 2 fast etudes like probably the most, because they feel that, oh, I have to play, loud, fast, and high, and you have to tongue really fast and all this and that. But don't forget that you also have to make some music happen here. Nice vibrato, nice sound. You have to have those 2 things. So don't ignore that, and get with your private lesson teacher. If you're not taking private lessons, get in private lessons. I mean, it's a must. If you say, I don't know the stats or whatever, but I'd say probably over 90% of the people, I'm guessing, probably over 90% of the people that make all region, all state are in saxophone lessons. So if you want to have a shot at that, get in private lessons. Okay, that's it for right now. And again, if you have any questions, let me know. Thanks.